Welcome to the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, here with Daniel Burke. Daniel, big news this week, Andy Lopez retiring after 14 years as Arizona's head baseball coach. A fairly emotional press conference by him on Monday. His reasons for leaving are complicated, but they're simple. Take me through it.
Yeah, you call it a press conference. I call it more of like, storytelling with Andy Lopez, which is what it was. I think the biggest reason he's stepping away is health, and he needs a healthier lifestyle. At 61 years old, less than 2 years removed from quadruple bypass surgery, does not feel as good as he did before that, cannot push himself as far as he used to be able to. And as he said, the doctor said stuff like this comes from two things, stress and genetics. Well, his genetics are fine. So it's a stress thing. And it's, he hasn't been able to manage it very well. And look, if they were better the last couple of years, if they were winning more these last 3 years, there wouldn't be as much stress. Right. I'm sure in 2012 when you were covering the club, there wasn't a whole lot of stressful moments for Andy Lopez.
It was like hand the ball to Kurt Heyer.
Yeah. Tell Refsnyder to hit a 2-run bomb. So I think that the losing has added to it, has added to the health concerns, but that's the biggest reason he's stepping away.
To me, the most heartbreaking thing that he said was, could I do it? Yes, but I don't have the energy. And for a guy who has lived baseball since he was a high school kid, for him to make the admission that he doesn't have it in him energy-wise, health-wise to do it, I mean, that must have been a very tough decision to make.
Look, there are a lot of coaches out there who could still go at a level that would be acceptable for doctor and wife standards. Yeah. Lopes just isn't one of those guys.
No, never has been.
No, he knows one speed. He knows how to do it one way. And he doesn't know how to step back and maybe let his assistants have some more control, or he just doesn't. That's not his style. So there are coaches that could do it. He's not one. And if he was going to fix this, as he said, he would need to put every ounce of energy, and he just doesn't have it.
It's tough. Daniel, on a lighter note, you've been talking to players and coaches about their favorite Andy Lopez story, and we all have one. Look at the camera and tell them yours.
Well, the one I loved this week that I heard was from Greg Byrne.
Yeah.
And, they're flying back from winning the national championship, and, Andy's sitting with his wife, Linda, who, if you ever know Andy Lopez, he's talked more about Linda Lopez than any person in the world. One row ahead of them.
His best recruit.
Yeah, his best recruit. Greg and Regina Byrne ahead of him. Greg says, hey, come in the next day. Let's talk contract extension. So Lopes never had an agent. Detests agents, really. Walks into Byrne's office the next day. Byrne hands him the contract. Lopes looks at it, looks at Byrne and says, we can afford this? Like, are you sure? Like, we can afford this? And that's just the kind of guy he was. He never took himself too seriously. He was amazed at what he was able to accomplish through baseball, and just was a great guy to be around.
Absolutely. Quite a rise for a kid from San Pedro, California. Yeah. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. Join us next time when we talk about the candidates to replace Andy Lopez as Arizona's head baseball coach. For Daniel Burke, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.